Following the order of information in a reference entry, we're moving on to the title element. I can't cover every possible situation, so looking in the manual and on the APA style website will be necessary. The title element is the title of the specific work being cited. It is also the first indication of the type or format of the work being cited. There are two broad categories of work: standalone work or works that are part of a larger whole. Examples of some standalone works are books, films, reports, data sets, and dissertations, while examples of some part of the whole works are journal, magazine, or newspaper articles, podcast episodes, chapters from an edited book, and reference work entries. The format for part of whole titles is sentence case with original punctuation with no italics and not enclosed in quotation marks. Sentence case refers to the normal capitalization rules in English grammar, so the first words of both the title and any subtitle are capitalized along with any proper nouns or acronyms. The format of standalone titles only differs in one way from the part of whole titles. You still use the sentence case, but you italicize the title. Multi-volume works or works with multiple editions are a little more complicated, as you need to include that information in the entry. For editions and volume numbers with an additional title, enclose that information in parentheses, unitalicized. If the individual volume has its own title, incorporate it similarly to a subtitle. Most scholars, when they look at reference lists, are expecting to see journal articles and books. When citing works outside of traditional and expected academic publishing, you should provide a description of the work in brackets after the title. Adding these descriptions to less common works gives context and helps to identify them. The examples on this slide include a YouTube video, generative AI, a podcast episode, and a data set. The added descriptions should be used for both part of whole and standalone titles. Works missing a title should be fairly rare, but if you do find one with no title, you write a description of the work enclosed in square brackets. Let's take a look at some examples of titles in a published reference list. Most of the references appear to be part of whole work type, indicating that we are probably looking for a journal article or a book chapter. All of these italicized titles are for standalone books, a website, a report, and even on the third page, a thesis. Notice the bracketed description. Now we'll find titles on some published works. So initially we are going back to our journal article that we've been using, and the title should be probably the most prominently displayed piece of information. Again, it should be towards the top, possibly bolded, a larger typeface. The formatting should really give you some clues in published works like this. And again, when you're finding works through something like Quick Search or one of the library databases, that title should be, again, really prominently placed. Often different colors are used. It's typically the largest thing that you'll see. And then again, on a database page, again, very prominent towards the top, typically going to be larger and bolder text. For physical books, the title page will obviously have the title on it. There's going to be different formatting stuff, but it should be the most clearly displayed text, both on the cover as well as on the title page. Now we get into online sources, which, because of the unstandardized formatting, can be a little bit difficult to see. With really established organizations that have really good web design, like the Pew Research Center here, the title will be pretty obvious here. If you ever do need to double check, look to see if you can actually download a report or the web article that's kind of being seen. And again, that kind of formatting will lead you to what is the title versus something like a subtitle. With news sources, typically the title is really prominently displayed, and again, look for formatting clues to kind of show what that important title will be. With social media, it can be a little bit different. Especially if you're using something like a tweet or a post or something where the actual title might just be the entire text of that post. With YouTube videos, again, we're used to seeing kind of a title that's given to this video. One good place to actually look is to see, on your browser tab, is there a title listed? And this is not normal, is the title of this video, and it's listed up here. Similarly, with web pages that you're using as a web page, that title will often be kind of listed out in that tab on your browser here. And again, APA Style has used some really good formatting to say that this page's title is disability. We're seeing Helping Americans from HUD. This one definitely has a little bit more in that browser bar tab. But again, we're looking for, a title that encompasses everything that is on this. So we're going to look at the Helping Americans as its title here. So it's typically prominently displayed. But again, when you're looking at web resources, it can be a little bit harder to kind of suss out. Thank you for watching. Please see the other videos in this series for more APA content.